Good morning. We're leaving Cairns on our way to Cooktown. There is a high wind warning today, but we're going anyway. Learning by Doing presents The Mad Dash. Watch us every Tuesday morning on YouTube. Join me and multiple crew members as I take our Crowley catamaran from Sydney, Australia all the way up around the top to Lombok in Indonesia. Made possible by our patrons. Thank you very much, you guys, and also our sponsors here on board for this trip. Thanks so much, guys. Wow, what a magical departure. A double rainbow leaving Cairns. Bloody beautiful, but it was a sign of things to come. It was a wet, rainy, squally day in store for us this day. So the leg from Cairns to Cooktown is about 120 miles, which is a bit too much for a day trip, so we decided to break it up, break it in half, stop at Low Isles on the way, and then the next day up to Cooktown. Now I actually picked up a piece of rope on the starboard prop coming down the river of Cairns, exiting Cairns. There was no way in hell I was jumping in the water there. As you can see, the water's pretty murky, but also full of crocs. So as we had wind, we just sailed, and I decided I'll just fix it up when I get to somewhere else that's safer and cleaner. But no big deal. We didn't really need the motors during the day, but it's one more thing to think about. As you can see here on the chart plotter, this is an AIS contact. This guy was heading south at 22 knots and he was 300 meters long. Absolute ripper. Even though the weather left a little bit to be desired, we actually had a ripper of a sail. It was dead downwind, about 20 knots, and yeah, we were just floating along with the screecher out. Yeah, we were sort of sitting around 8, 9, 10 knots, and easy days. It was cold, it was windy, it was raining sometimes, but bloody hell, being out on the water, in this boat especially, John was loving it, I was loving it. Great day. We're approaching Low Isles now. They're called Low Islands, Low Isles. They're very low, as you can see, and yeah, we're probably going to spend the night there. It was 100 miles up to Cooktown basically, so we're just going to do it in 2 legs. I didn't want to arrive in Cooktown at night time. So we're going to, about 5-6 miles to go. Apparently there's a couple of mooring buoys there, but we can see a couple of yachts there and a tourist boat by the look of it, so we might be anchoring. The only thing we have to consider now is that we've got rope around one propeller, so we've only got one engine. So we're just working out what we're going to do with our sails and whatnot when we arrive. Whether we just go around the corner and anchor, jump in the water and get this rope off the prop, and then try and get a mooring buoy after that with 2 engines. Because it's as chill as it is now, it's what, 12 knots of apparent, and we're doing 7, but that's sort of 20 knots of wind, so as soon as we turn around into the wind, it's not going to be as calm as it is now, it's not going to feel like it does now. And then trying to catch a mooring buoy with one engine and getting blown around, so we'll probably anchor first and then get the prop sorted out. But anyway, we're thinking about it now, ahead of time. Oh, anchored up at beautiful Low Isles, and yeah, we've got a mooring buoy, beautiful. Sun's come out, wind's died down. Weather report didn't say that, it said it was going to only pick up in the afternoon, and it was going to be 20 to 25, and yeah, we're seeing about 10 to 15 right now, beautiful. Anyway, I'm about to jump in the water and see what's going on with this bloody prop. So yeah, as you can see, it's just a blue bit of rope off a mooring, probably floating around in the ocean, and no big deal at all really, but the thing was, it was keeping the propeller closed pretty much. But yeah, I didn't even have to cut it, it basically just untangled, but it would have never came off by itself, so obviously you got to do something about it. Yep, good to see it didn't destroy my new prop speed. Pretty happy about that. Like fishing lines and that can tear through your top prop speed pretty quick, but was all good to go, no big drama at all. On many anchorages up this Queensland coast, you get these batfish just coming up to the boat and just expecting a handout. And yeah, they're pretty bloody cute, so you give them a biscuit or some bread or something. But there's often these little sharks hanging around as well, and I'm guessing that they're just waiting for the batfish to get fatter, and then they probably polish off the odd batfish. So yeah, it's a bit of a circle of life, really.
Beautiful morning, beautiful morning.
It's pretty rainy all night, huh?
Yeah, quite an amazing downpour at midnight. Sounded like the world was coming to an end.
Well, it's not the same day as yesterday as far as sailing goes. It's not crazy windy, but it is not very sunny. It's very squally looking today. Probably going to get ups and downs in the wind and lots of downs with the water. But anyway, we've got 60 miles to go to Cooktown. We'll I don't know, it's about probably 7 o'clock now, and we'll get there after lunch sometime. And yeah, we've obviously got all our wet weather gear on from the get-go. First time I've had the Burke pants on this trip, because they haven't been that wet so far, but I thought I'd get it all on early this morning, so we'll stay dry. Alright, we'll throw the mooring buoy off and spin around with the engines and probably just get the sail out straight away and buzz on out of here. Well, it's looking much nicer, about half an hour out. See the islands behind me there? Screecher up. We're doing about 7 knots and, well, 8 knots of wind at the moment, but yeah, we're doing alright. There's still obviously lots of squalls around, but the sky's lightened up. We've probably got about 7 hours of sailing, and we'll probably get wet a few times, but that's okay. We'll probably also be changing the sails every time before a squall comes. It brings wind with it, and probably change down to the jib at that stage, as it goes from being 50 square metre screecher to a 32 square metre jib. A lot more manageable when the winds get over 25 knots. I'm actually going to go and clean this lens right now because it's covered in water. I can see I'm probably all blurry in the water drops. Alright, as you can see, pretty decent sized squall behind us. Pretty heavy looking one, so we have to make the decision pretty soon if we're going to drop the screecher and put out the jib. Often wind, sort of a mile or so before that comes, wind comes, but often you can also see in the water in front of it white caps if there's more wind, and I can't see that right now. So this could be a squall without wind, dog without, buck without bite, yeah, but there's definitely going to be rain. Well, I'll show you here on the radar. We've got the Doppler radar, so you can see weather coming. So this red is rain that's coming towards us, and the green is going away obviously, and the white is land. So this is a big band of rain that's coming this way, going to go straight over us, but it's quite narrow, so it's only maybe 10 minutes of rain. So I've been using that quite a bit this trip. Well, the last few days it's been squally all the time. But it's sort of good to use that during the day and correlate what it shows on screen with real life, because then at night time, when I start doing night passages soon, you'll just be able to know that, okay, it's showing this on the screen during the day, that equated to that, and so sort of know, like, it's really handy. I've never had radar that can do this before, so it's sort of cool. Instead of sailing really conservatively all night because you're scared of squalls, if I'm in a hurry, I can sort of have more sail up at night and be watching the radar and then prepare for it, because you do see it 6 miles out. That sort of seems to be the range where you see it, but 6 miles still gives you a good 10-15 minutes to prepare. Anyway, this actually looks like it's softened in the last, since I've been talking, it looks like it's softened. As you can see, the squall we're sort of right in the middle of it now. Some of it's passed over us already. That's the green, it's going away. And the red is obviously still coming towards us. But there was no wind increase, so we kept the screecher up. And yeah, it's raining now. But it's not crazy. This squall is pretty weak. But you can see out here, see that's all rain in front of us. And then there's still rain to come behind us. But it's broken, over here it's broken up. And out here is sort of sunny already. So it's actually, we're sailing this way and the squall is going that way. So yeah, so I turned 10 to starboard now and we should actually sort of get out of it a little bit quicker. So as you can see on the radar, the red has disappeared, the green is there, so obviously the squall's passed over, and you can see here, it's all sunny here. Still pretty grey behind, but I don't think that's holding any rain. And the wind's come back to normal, because when the squall was passing over us, it went about 20 degrees to starboard, so we had to turn, but now we're back on course. As you can see here, our little line is following the little line, and yeah, we're back to 8 knots again now. So the wind definitely gets disturbed by a squall passing, but I think we're back to normal, and I'll be taking my jacket off and get some breakfast. Are you still enjoying cat sailing?
Yeah, even though I'm getting a little wet.
Do you think now that when you go back and next sail your monohull, you'll feel differently?
Yeah, I feel like we're going pretty slow and wallowing a lot.
Yeah. It'll hurry along your decision to put down a deposit and get the cat started.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to call Denny today. Get the ball rolling.
Yeah. You would really have to be wanting to go somewhere in a hurry if you're doing what this guy's doing. Against the waves, it's 15 knots apparent we're seeing, and we're doing 8, so it's 24, 25 knots of wind. The seas aren't great, but you can see he's just getting a hiding. I guess normally he'd probably be doing 20 knots boat speed, but now he's doing 9. But oh, you'd have to be wanting to get there in a hurry to just not wait for tomorrow, the next day. Alright, we're rolling into Cooktown. That was a pretty fast, pretty good trip. We actually hit another speed record, 19.4 knots. We didn't even want to, sort of. Just one awesome wave on 15 for about half a minute, and then it went up to 19, and then I was like, oh, okay. Anyway, we're going to get this head sail down and motor into this channel. So the procedure is, as we pull into the anchorage, I run up forwards and take the snubber hook off the chain, prepare the anchor over the front, ready to just deploy it once we've found our right spot. Now in this anchorage there's a fair bit of protection. The water's very calm, but the wind does blow over the hill and there is tidal current, so that means you sort of change directions by 180 degrees every 6 hours, so something to keep in mind. But we found a pretty good spot right here. As it was only early afternoon, I went on a little adventure. I just came over here in the dinghy. It's probably very windy. Spotted some coconut trees up here, so I went and got a bunch of coconuts. Got some green ones, got some brown ones. It's been a while since I had fresh coconut. Stoked. Trade runner over there. Cooktown. Spotted a washed up sailboat down this beach here. We're going to go down and have a look. old bilge keeler from Fremantle. It got pretty far around Australia though before she ran aground, but she's not moving from here anymore, that's for sure. The engine's been half taken. Maybe that's why it, you know, came off its mooring in the first place, because the engine was buggered, and yeah, obviously it hasn't been really looked after. Sad to see an old sailboat die like this. Next morning dawned bright and clear, just what we wanted for our day off. So we took the dinghy over to town and had a look around. Obviously Cooktown, 1770, Captain James Cook. Well, he was a lieutenant at the time, but that's just details. Anyway, he'd recently hit a reef. He called Endeavour Reef after his boat, and he was looking for a nice calm anchorage in order to fix the boat. And yeah, stumbled across this place, and a lovely anchorage it is. And if you're into history and things like that, there's a bloody lot of it to see here, and I am into history, so I had a bloody good time. Don't know whether you'll hear much, it's pretty windy, but we're hiking up to Grassy Knoll, is it? Grassy Hill. This is the hill in Cooktown where Cook and, I don't know, whoever else in his crew spent a lot of time up here looking out, trying to find a way out through the reef so they could sail away. They were sort of trapped here. They called it the labyrinth, this area. So they hiked up here and just spent hours up here with their telescopes looking out to sea, hoping to find a way between all the reefs. Well, this is to the end of the video again. Thanks for watching, guys. As you probably can imagine, it's actually a bit of a struggle getting these videos out every week while I'm actually sailing probably 5 or 6 days a week. The cat is quite stable, but I don't really edit on the move, so on my days off I edit. So I hope you guys appreciate that hard work. I know all my patrons do, obviously, because that's why they support me. So thank you, massive thank you to you guys for the continued support. And we will see you next week from, where will we going? Cooktown to Lizard Island, I think, is the next trip. Bangers. Okay. Hope you guys are all well, and we'll see you next week. Bye bye.